Now, Ben Shapiro is in a bit of a minority when it comes to independent content creators that are egging on war with Iran. But on the Hill, he unfortunately has plenty of allies, including none other than warmonger John Fetterman, a Democrat, who seriously struggled to explain how bombing Iran would help his own constituents. Take a look at this.
How do you plan to vote on Senator Paul and Senator Kaine's war powers resolution?
Is that coming up?
Yeah, they just...
Oh, I didn't know that for sure. Well, then that's a down.
Down?
Oh, yeah.
Why is that?
No. I mean, I voted no on it earlier, and I supported striking the nuclear facilities, and I think it probably will become appropriate to do that. If anyone in the Senate doesn't want to acquire a nuclear bomb for Iran, then we have to make that and put that on the table, and I'm going to vote for that.
How exactly would strikes on Iran benefit the American people, like on the ground in Pennsylvania, for example?
It absolutely does. It makes the Middle East safer.
But
peace.
in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, absolutely.
How so?
Mm-hmm.
But how does it benefit them? Like, does it put more money in their
I'm
pockets?
voting it no. And I think we're good.
No, we're not good. I mean, they're laughing in our faces, okay? This government does not work for us, obviously. Fetterman has gone so far as to suggest that Donald Trump shouldn't even try to engage in diplomatic talks with Iran. On February 6th, he posted this on X. It's a headline from the Wall Street Journal. U.S. and Iran gather for high-stakes nuclear talks. And he commented on that, saying, "I truly don't see the value in this. The world knows Iran will never honor any treaty. Israel has carried out over 1,000 airstrikes against Lebanon after signing a ceasefire deal in 2024. They're bombing Lebanon right now as we speak. What are you talking about?" The rest of it is the last treaty with Iran led to 900 pounds near weapon-grade enriched uranium. Did we or did we not obliterate Iran's nuclear sites? What did we do last summer? And more importantly, for all the journalists out there, how much money did we spend on that? How much money did we spend last summer bombing Iran's nuclear sites that are allegedly obliterated, but now we're going to war with Iran because we're worried about their non-existent nuclear weapons? Come on.
Yeah, so again, I've been in a number of debates over the last week on this issue. And every Israel First person, oftentimes literally from Israel, they bring them on, IDF soldiers and communications guys, et cetera, say, well, they could at a later time develop nuclear weapons, and then it'll be too late. But you've been saying that for the last 20 years, man. And on top of that, we already destroyed their nuclear facilities. That's true, but ballistic missiles, but they can't come anywhere near reaching us. But the ballistic missiles one day at a later time could be so much more advanced, and they could have the nukes, and they could put the nukes on the ballistic missiles. So that's why we have to attack them now. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. Sweden could do the same thing.
Yeah.
So could Bolivia. They could at a later time. What is this? This is garbage, right? And look at Fetterman. Now, guys.
I'd rather not.
Yeah, so it's not perfectly equivalent because at least he's talking about, for example, Tim Kaine, who's, along with Rand Paul, both of them should get a lot of credit. And I can't believe Tim Kaine's a good guy on this issue, but
I know,
he is.
same. I can't believe it either.
But hey, credit where credit's due. I love it. Bygones be bygones, as long as you vote the right way, do the right things. So he's introducing a resolution saying, no, you got to ask Congress before you go to war. There's good guys like Senator Chris Van Hollen, et cetera. But there are also a lot of super bad guys like Fetterman that are in the Democratic Party. So like for Fetterman, Lindsey Graham, Ted Cruz, and a couple of others, it feels like it's not just money. So I don't know what it is, but this is like weird, right? So, but my favorite part of that interaction was when he gets to, yes, but how does this help people in Pennsylvania? That's where Fetterman goes full sling blade. Yeah, bro, you didn't even think to have an answer for that? Because he doesn't care about the people of Pennsylvania at all, or Americans. All that's going through Fetterman's head is, how do I help Israel so they don't release the tapes? How do I help Israel so I get millions of more dollars? How do I help Israel? I love Israel. I hate America. I love Israel. Okay, and by the way, as we're going to show you later in the show, Hakeem Jeffries secretly funneling AIPAC money to other Democrats. Because, and remember when Netanyahu came? Thunderous standing ovations from both parties. He did that. He gave a speech to Congress in 2015 and a couple other times. And all the Democrats stood up like bitches and were like, oh, our dear leader is here. What more can we do for you, Israel? And they all cash checks. They all get bribed by the Israeli lobby, but mainstream media never tells you because they don't cover the news, they cover up the news. 94% of Congress.
All right, so we've got Republicans like Tommy Tuberville and all of these other pathetic losers supporting war with Iran, but I actually want to skip ahead to the polling because I think that matters more than what our bribed and blackmailed politicians have to say about this. So let's take a look at this poll. This is the latest YouGov poll that found that about half, 49% of Americans, somewhat or strongly oppose U.S. using military force to attack Iran. Only 27% support such an attack. 24% are not sure. 58% of Republicans support an attack, while 76% of Democrats and 54% of independents oppose. Now, while half of Americans don't want military action against Iran, there's broad bipartisan agreement that it will happen anyway because we live under a government that doesn't respect our opinion, doesn't care what we want. So 58% of Americans think that the U.S. is at least somewhat likely to take military action against Iran in the next month. Now, let me just pause and talk about the framing or the wording of the question. Because military action could be something like a strike. And some Americans might be misled into thinking this is just going to be, quick airstrikes like we did last summer, not a big deal. So some people might be supportive of that, but not so supportive of a lengthy military campaign against Iran. So I would like to see the question rephrased to be a little more specific so we can get a better sense of how Americans feel about this. But nonetheless, just wanted to give you some of the issues with the methodology here. 58% of Americans think the U.S. is at least somewhat likely to take military action against Iran in the next month. Only 11% say U.S. military action against Iran is not very likely or not likely at all. So.
Yeah, I want to draw attention to two of the numbers that Anna mentioned there. First of all, 15% of independents support this war. That's a disaster for the people starting this war. Now, by the way, you would think okay, the Republicans are obviously at fault here. They're in charge. They're in charge of the House, the Senate, the White House. Trump is making the decision. Clearly, Republicans. And since it is so deeply unpopular, especially with independents, this is a layup for the Democrats. You just run on this, you'll just win Congress super easily. Except all I hear is the sound of silence. Where are all the Democratic leaders all over television, doing op-eds, online podcasts, all over media going, no, don't go to war with Iran. We want to be clear. The Democratic Party is against war with Iran. It's going to be a disaster. That would be very politically advantageous, even if they didn't mean it, even if they were just being callous about it. But yet, where are they? I don't see any of them on TV. Other than Ro Khanna, I don't see anyone in online media. I don't see anyone doing anything. Where the hell's AOC? Oh, she did a tweet the other day. Oh, wow. Oh, did you? Wow. Schumer's in favor of it. Jeffries is secretly in favor of it. So the reason why they're not showing up.
It's hopeless. It's hopeless.
Because they're totally corrupt.
It's hopeless.
They're 100% corrupt.
It's just a total waste. Nothing makes sense.
Leadership is.
Nothing makes sense. Like, we live in a topsy-turvy world where the people who call out the genocide are considered the bad people. We're supposed to love genocide as long as Israel carries it out.
100%.
We're supposed to pretend like the country that has a clandestine nuclear program is the good country, whereas the country that doesn't even have a nuclear program and had its nuclear sites completely obliterated by our military last summer, that's the one we should be worried about. Nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense.
No, that's the power of propaganda, guys. There's a giant illusion that American media has built. They say the real nuclear threat is Iran, but Iran has no nukes and their nuclear facilities are destroyed. Meanwhile, Israel has 100 nukes. How often do you hear about that? And do you know a more paranoid country than Israel? A country that has its finger on the happy trigger finger more than Israel? And so, and on top of that, they say, oh, Iran is a threat to the region. Meanwhile, Israel keeps expanding and expanding its territory. And our press never talks about, oh, look at that. Their territory got so much larger. Did Iran's territory get larger? Not at all. You see, they invert the truth completely, right? So, and I could go on and on. All the things that they claim are problems with Iran are actually problems with Israel. Well, they are a threat to the region. Israel attacked 7 of its neighbors, not Iran. The truth is totally inverted. Okay. And then the last number I want to draw your attention to is 19% of Republicans already not sure, but somewhat or strongly oppose this war. You might think, well, that's a small number, only 2 out of 10 Republicans. Well, 2 things about that. Number one, in the old days, that number would have been 0. So already Trump's lost 2 out of 10 Republicans, and we haven't lost a single person yet, right? So I see this all over social media. The Republicans that are still not sure or on the fence on this war are saying, no, it's going to be just like the first Iran strike or the Venezuela strike. We're not going to lose anyone. It's just going to be we win, 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 and you guys are overhyping it. And Trump's a genius, and he's going to figure out how to do regime change with no ground troops, no nothing. It's going to be a clean war. And the minute it's not a clean war and we get stuck in a quagmire, they're going to go, oh, Jesus, man, we just got played again, okay? Because I also see that. And so let's see if I'm right or wrong, but my guess is by the end of this whole thing, the entire country is going to be united in fury against all of our political leaders.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.